Once we move past the title screen and its bumpin' jams,
Bob Hope has more color in his cheeks.
we are unceremoniously dumped into our main hub world, where we can access one of these TVs to get into our first world, the cemetery.
3, 2, let's get back to the mystery van.
Which is themed after horror movies and stuff. Now the big selling point and the whole gimmick of Gex, both the game and the character, and probably the reason why I love him so much, is his tendency to kinda sorta never ever shut the hell up.
Feed me.
Hey, reruns of Rhoda.
Geronimo!
I'll take this, and this, and this.
I'm working without a net here.
Gex is constantly spewing TV and movie quotes, as well as quips and one-liners to the point most people would call, ad nauseum? Gex, with his constant stream of jokes and references, is absolutely annoying as hell. But I love it.
It's the entire charm of his character. He's a total goofus who feels the need to joke around constantly for attention, which is just something I adore and happen to relate to immensely. Huh. Slime Boy, I can't believe you invited 2 dates to the same prom.
Hey, what's the worst that could happen?
Hey everybody, what's crack-a-lackin'?
Slime Boy Meets World will be right back after these messages.
And Donkey Kong's piss. Sorry, I don't know what came over me just there. Anyways, it's tail time.
It's tail time.
The goal of each level is to collect the all-powerful remote controls from their holy pedestal, which will unlock further levels. Gex himself controls alright. I will say, he feels incredibly light. When you have a character in a platformer, it's good for them to feel like they have a weight to them, so that their momentum is predictable and it feels nice to move around and stuff.
But Gex feels almost paper thin, which, I mean, I guess he's a gecko and the average weight for a gecko is like 3 grams, which for my non-metric using fans is like nothing, so guess it makes sense.
At the very least, the controls are consistent, so although they feel kinda weird at first, you get the hang of them really quickly, and it becomes really fun to zip and zoom around, tail whip enemies, and tongue stuff. Gex can also stick to most walls and ceilings and even the background at times, which makes for some really creative navigation and interesting levels, and it's really, really fun when it's done well. Bum 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 bum. I will say that one complaint I have about the controls is the camera. Being a 2D platformer, especially one made in the 90s, you don't have much control over the camera. But in most games like this, it's really not needed. Mario and Sonic were almost always in the same place on the screen no matter what you did, and the camera and levels were super consistent, so nothing really took you by surprise. Usually. Gex's camera, however, kinda tries to keep him in this general section of the screen, but if you change direction, you have to take a few steps before the camera will readjust and catch up with you, and often this can lead to cheap shots and unfair hits by enemies and obstacles. Which leads me to one of the areas Gex really struggles in. Level design. Level design. Level design. Hey, it's me, level design. Haha. Gex has a lot of unfortunate moments of, well, how was I supposed to see that coming? where a level will take you by complete surprise with no way of knowing an obstacle was there besides having played the level a few dozen times and memorized all the tricks and traps and layouts. What this game could really use is that mechanic from most platformers of the era where you could press up to make a character look up, and then the camera would pan up, and then press down to duck and make them look down. And it was really fun because you could make characters do this. When you press up in Gex, his character model does look up, but the camera doesn't do anything. So maybe the dev team planned for this mechanic and it just didn't happen. So many times there are cheap and often instant deaths in Gex, where you have no idea if this little dip is the next bit of level you need to go down to, or instant death.
Oh boy, Ando, now that you've stolen Daddy's gold, we can run off and be together. Wait, you're not Boy Ando. You're his evil twin, Boylan, from another dimension.
Yes! And now, you know too much.
No.
But I mean, the games industry is famous for publishers denying games necessary work to make them really, really good because it costs too much and we have to make the holiday deadline. And there are even some excellent stories specifically from Gex developers about how the producers instilled crushing deadlines, destroying creativity in the name of the ongoing march of capitalism. Such as this message put in the game by developer Justin Knorr after he'd found out they just cut a lot of his work from the game. So he put in a level select where you could access a lot of the deleted levels, and in it contained this message. Didn't you think this level had some cool shit in it? This level was cut because the company didn't put you, the customer, first and just wanted to make money. Call Madeline Canepa at, and then he listed her real phone number, and give her a piece of your mind, and my mind too. This message got cut from the game before release after it was caught by playtesters. But once again, I digress. At times, the level design in Gex can feel agonizingly punishing. Especially later on, the levels can get very long, which does not pair well with Gex's save system. You see, Gex was at some point meant to be the mascot for the failed 3DO console, which is so obscure that, in researching for this video, I learned more about it than I ever had before. But because Gex was originally designed for the 3DO, this version could save to the 3DO's internal memory. It had extra animations and some other premium features, while the PS1 version was a port, and only has passwords. And a particularly bad password system as well. You see, you only get a password when you beat one of the 4 main bosses or collect a VHS tape in a level. Apparently most levels have VHS tapes, but I only found a few, so most of them must be pretty well hidden. Meaning, if you need to stop after beating a few levels and you haven't gotten a VHS tape or beaten a boss, you will lose all your progress and have to redo what you did. And if you run out of lives, you get booted back to the title screen and you need to re-enter your last password and redo any levels that you did after your last VHS tape.
It's tail time.
Sometimes these levels get pretty long. Don't expect to sit down and play a quick game of Gex. No, you're in for the long haul or nothing. Expect to commit a few hours to Gex at least. Does that hurt? Well, walk it off! Maybe that's what they meant. This system is baffling, and I'm sure there must be reasons for the lack of memory card support. The PS1 came out in North America in 1995, and so did Gex's PS1 port, so it was still early in the PS1 life cycle. It may have been an issue of memory card availability, or converting the 3DO's internal saves to PlayStation memory card saves might not have been so simple, so I don't want to give too much guff to the devs who ported it over. But video games in this era were still primarily marketed to kids, especially cutesy mascot platform. especially cutesy mascot platformers. And even though Sony tried to be all like, oh, we're the grown-up console for edgy adults, fuck you, a lot of kids still played these games. Remember Sony's classic ad campaign, fuck you. Yeah, that was a good one. I think they used the PlayStation buttons and the letters. It was really good.
And you know who doesn't have a lot of control over their gaming time? Kids! Children! I know growing up that me and a lot of people like me were given limited time to play video games before eventually our parents would tell us to turn it off and go outside because your body needs vitamins from sunlight and physical activity to properly grow and function. Ridiculous. God, I'm tired.
So if you are unable to get one of these precious VHS tapes or beat one of the quite difficult bosses in your limited playtime and you have to stop playing, or you run out of lives, you just lost all your progress.
I'm a grown woman and sometimes I still have to stop playing for work or sleep or to clean the trash mess I live in. And to have to shut down and lose hours of progress is downright disheartening. Here is my open letter to Crystal Dynamics about the save system in their, oh, look at that, yeah, nearly 25-year-old game. Congrats on the silver anniversary, guys. Dear Crystal Bastards, you have crossed me for the last time, and I...
So, we figured out why this car wasn't trying to start. Apparently, the Lancia Stratus has massive issues with the batteries. We changed the battery in it, we're able to rewire the electrical system, and now it's all working just fine. But of course, when you're dealing with these kinds of issues with the battery, you always want a good, safe, and legal way to get rid of your car batteries. You don't want to dispose of your batteries in an irresponsible way. So, follow me on down to the beach and we'll find the perfect place to dispose of your batteries.
That new game starting to lose its luster? Don't quite feel like shelling out cash for a brand new game? Then why not check your backlog?
What the fuck?
Any person who has a passion for video games usually has a stash of video games they've not finished or maybe even played yet, just waiting to be discovered.
When the hell did I buy a root letter?
So check out your backlog today.
Call 1-800-441-2400. When you call, we'll include the bonus elephant issue stickers and tiger poster with your order. Call 1-800-441-2400. You must be 18 years or older to call.
When you're disposing of batteries, you want to be environmentally safe, and you also want to be legal. You don't want to be breaking the law when you're getting rid of your car batteries. So, I have some important information for you. Take your car batteries, like I have done here, load them into your pickup truck, drive them all the way to the beach, and then, and then you just throw them into the ocean. Because the fact of the matter is, car batteries recharge the electric eels in the ocean. It helps them, and it helps you. And it's also safe and legal. I'm not a legal consultant. You might want to consult a legal professional before doing this, but I have safe and legal battery disposal to take care of. And I suggest you do the same.
Time immemorial! Oh, wait, it was Beam Software that did the PS1 version, not Crystal Dynamics. Huh. So anyway, Gex is pretty good. There were a few difficult parts that soured it for me a little bit, but honestly, I found I enjoyed the whole game as an experience overall. Bitch. I don't know why I did that.
It's definitely unpolished and very flawed, but honestly, whenever I got really frustrated and mad at the game, it would win me back and charm me with a funny quote or a silly joke. Gex as a character really sells this game and the whole series for me. The worlds are vibrant, and they often have bumpin' soundtracks. I especially love the Horror World tunes and the Toon World tunes. I gotta give real props to whoever did the soundtrack. This is a fantastic soundtrack. You did good. I'd look up your name, but I don't want to look at it right now.
It's tail time.
I'll edit it in later. Sorry, I'm very tired. There's a level based on Attack of the Killer Tomatoes, which I thought was great, even though I've never seen the movie and only just barely remember the animated series. There was an NES game, too. What the hell was that? Just look at the Toon World's boss, which is a farting superhero who you climb up the walls to drop anvils on. Which is actually really fun. It's probably the most fun boss fight in the whole game.
Welcome to the Beer. I'll be your host, Professor B. Videos like this are made possible by people like you, the viewer, subscribers, bots, and those far too deep down a rabbit hole to consider the following.
And, okay, just look at the boss for the Horror World. Shit, she's so cool.
What now, Jaja?
Give us some snow, baby.
Looks like my wife in the morning.
So I'm gonna give you a bit of a reference guide on how to get the most fun out of Gex. I highly recommend using either the 99 lives cheat or accessing this secret hidden area in the first level that lets you play all these Donkey Kong Country style bonus games to get a ton of extra lives. The tax of running out of lives and having to re-enter a password and potentially redo hours of work is honestly too much, and I won't judge you for just wanting to forgo that and take as many runs at a level as you need. Unless you're playing the 3DO version, I guess, then just memory card save.
So here is my guide for the really tricky levels.
Last time on...
Fire.
And Gex fires the last shot, defeating Rez once and for all.
Hasta la vista, baby.
Gex is released from the media dimension. And with one final quip,
Hey, cool. I wonder what's on HBO.
okay, it's more of a product placement. The game ends, and we get this funky-ass R&B song about Gex. What?
Who is this tiny dino? He ain't me. Cool shades on a fighting machine. Whipping tail and spitting fire. He's a wizard of a lizard killer gecko for hire.
He's a Gex. T-Rex.
He's Gex.
Gex. He's a wisecracking cousin of the Top-It gang.
Walks cool while he talks trash.
And that wraps up the story of Gex. Well, what little there was. You know, for a game with such little going on plot-wise, why did the manual tell such a surreal tale?
It's tail time.
Yeah, yeah, yeah! Thanks for watching, everybody.
Thank you for watching. This video, this is probably the longest credits I've ever had to do for a video because I had a bunch of wonderful collaborators submit their entries on this, and there's gonna be credits scrolling by or something right now. So go check these fantastic people out. They're all incredibly talented content creators in some way or another. And just fantastic human beings, friends of mine. I really enjoyed working on their bits, so it was good. I might just do more Gex content. I'm gonna be honest. I'm like debating doing like a whole lyrical breakdown of that weird R&B song about Gex. So if that's something you're interested in, please comment. And just comment and tell me what you thought. It means the world to get your comments, and I try to reply to all of them that I can reply to. Thanks for watching. I hope you have a lovely day.